Hey, what's up there, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551, and I am back with a My 2 Cent video for this week, for the week of March 14th to the 20th, where I take a look at a couple stories that caught my attention and give you my thoughts and my opinion on it, though. I hope, guys, you all had a great week and all that stuff. For me, I was able, that some may consider this a big deal or not, was able to get my second COVID shot, though. After after delay, I was finally able to get the second COVID shot where I work and all that stuff, so it's nice. So that's great for me to finally get that done. Only side effect I had was just my arm being sore for just maybe a bit and all, but other than that, that was pretty much it, though. But anyway, we got 4 stories to cover, including Square Enix hosting an event, Activision, Blizzard doing something, well, let's just say being under fire for not only laying off people, but doing it in a way that comes off as extremely scummy, though. Microsoft, there are rumors going around that they may end up buying Konami and Sega, and of course we have the NPDs for February 2021, though. But before we get started on those stories, we'll do what I do like to call the quick My 2 Cents parts, stories that kind of caught my attention, but I'm not going to go into a huge amount of details or anything like that. We'll start off with the first one, and is that Octopath Traveler has now made its way over to supposedly the Xbox Game Pass and all this stuff. Now, there was some questions whether the game was an exclusive on the Nintendo Switch, as in the way Bayonetta 2 was, or was basically a timed exclusive. Obviously, when it started appearing up on the PC and Stadia, though, it sounded like this was going to be a timed exclusive, and now it's made its way over to the Xbox Game Pass, though. I will admit, there's part of me that would have liked it to stay on the Nintendo Switch and all that stuff, but you know what? And I'm not losing sleep over this. Hopefully it finds an audience on those who use the Xbox Game Pass, though, and if you want my recommendation, it's worth getting, though, okay? I think I like the art style, the high definition 2Ds, and a throwback to the old school JRPG approach. So for those who have Xbox Game Pass, I definitely would recommend you take a look at Octopath Traveler. As for me, I'm happy with the version I have, the Nintendo Switch, so I don't see myself getting this on Game Pass, though, but for those that where Game Pass is your thing and all that stuff, consider taking a look at Octopath Traveler. We also learned that the sequel to the Sonic the Hedgehog movie has started production, which is certainly nice. It'll be interesting to see when the movie does come out, whether it is as good as the first one, or if it turns out to be as bad as the first one, and whether or not Paramount might take the approach of what we saw with Warner Brothers did with Wonder Woman 84, where they released it in both the theaters and on HBO Max. But with Paramount now having Paramount Plus, something tells me there's a good chance we'll probably see this on both Paramount Plus and in theaters as well. We also learned that there are rumors going around that the Persona series could be making its way over to the Xbox, which certainly is, I'm not against that or anything like that, but I will say, assuming this rumor is true, I would like to say, really, Aulx, you're not even going to bring it to the Nintendo Switch, considering you brought Persona 5 Striker over, but not Persona 4 Rumble or Persona 5 Rumble or any of the Persona games. Really, Aulx, but it's them and Sega's calling on that stuff. We also learned that supposedly insiders are claiming to expect that Starfield, Bethesda's new IP, will be launching this year, which would be kind of interesting because outside of that teaser trailer, we have saw really like next to none on anything in terms of the gameplay, in terms of Starfield and all that stuff. As for whether or not it will appear on other systems outside of Xbox, I don't know if the game was in development long before Bethesda was purchased by Microsoft, but we'll see if that happens or not. If it doesn't, then obviously it's going to be, the only way you're going to play Starfield is going to either be on Xbox or through Xbox Game Pass and so forth. So I know not everyone is a big fan of Microsoft buying Bethesda and all that stuff. There are people who aren't happy about it, but you know what? Obviously Bethesda was okay with this, and at the end of the day, it's Microsoft's call. They can decide whether they want to keep Starfield just on their system, or if they decide to, maybe they'll allow to a certain degree to appear on other systems and so forth. But no matter what, it is Microsoft's calling on that. We also learned that Sony Interactive Entertainment has now purchased EVO, the fighting game tournament and all that stuff. And in a recent statement, they've also mentioned that they're not going to close out, like other platforms that have fighting games, including like Super Smash Brothers, and also we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But as of right now, Sony Interactive now owns EVO. And last but not least, we have learned some interesting things about the Ninja Gaiden Master Collection. For the Switch, though, we now know that there will be a physical version. However, it will only be available through Play Asia, as there won't be a physical version out here in the West, but there will be an English option. So if you want a physical version of this physical, or should I say, this physical Switch version of Ninja Gaiden Master Collection, you're going to have to go through Play Asia. It's worth pointing out that the Nintendo Switch is region free, so you can import the game and not have to worry about, modding or anything like that. And we also learned that the Ninja Gaiden Master Collection will run at 4K at 60 frames per second, at least according to Team Ninja, on the Xbox One X, Xbox Series S and X, PS5, and PS4 Pro. No word on the situation with the base PS4 or base Xbox One or Nintendo Switch, although I'm leaning towards there is a very good chance like something like the Switch will have it run at 30 frames per second, but it is possible we could have it. It's still possible to let it run at 60 frames per second, but possibly at a lower resolution though, maybe 60 frames per second at 720p, but hopefully we'll hear more about the information regarding the Switch versions and maybe the other versions as well. But as of right now, in regards of the Xbox X and S, Xbox One X, PS4 Pro, and PS5, in regard to those, according to Team Ninja, you have the ability to have it running at 4K at 60 frames per second though. Okay, with the quick My 2 cent part now done, we'll get started with our first story, and we will be looking at basically is the NPD, as they have now released February's NPD charts in terms of video game sales. And I have to say, one title in particularly kind of surprised me, but it shows basically the power of that brand, and that is the Super Mario 3D World Bowser's Fury, though. You could, whether you like the fact that Nintendo is porting these games over to the Switch or not, it seems as though that apparently the Mario brand is still going strong and it's doing very well, and according to the NPD charts, it's doing really, really well. At least according from two articles, Venture Beats and from VG24. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, links will be in the description of this video. It does point out exactly where they are ranked. So in terms of the top 20 best-selling games in the month of February, Super Mario 3D World Bowser's Fury is at number 1, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War at number 2, Persona 5 Striker at number 3, that's kind of nice that that's there though, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales at number 4, Madden NFL 21 at number 5, Little Nightmares 2 at number 6, Assassin's Creed Valhalla at number 7, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe at number 8, Animal Crossing New Horizons at number 9, Call of Duty Modern Warfare at number 10, FIFA 21 at number 11, NBA 2K21 at number 12, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate at number 13, Mortal Kombat 11 at number 14, Super Mario 3D All-Stars at number 15, Ring Fit Adventure at number 16, Just Dance 2021 at number 17, The Legend of Minecraft PS4 edition at number 18, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild at number 19, and Immortal Phoenix Rising at number 20. Over at the best-selling games of, or the top 20 best, the top 10 best-selling games of 2021 so far, they have Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War at number 1, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser Fury at number 2, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales at number 3, Assassin's Creed Valhalla at number 4, Madden NFL 21 at number 5, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe at number 6, Animal Crossing New Horizons at number 7, Call of Duty Modern Warfare at number 8, Persona 5 Striker at number 9, and Ring Fit Adventure at number 10. Over the best-selling games of the last 12 months, though, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War at number 1, Call of Duty Modern Warfare at number 2, Animal Crossing New Horizon at number 3, Madden NFL 21 at number 4, Assassin's Creed Valhalla at number 5, The Last of Us Part 2 at number 6, Ghost of Tsushima at number 7, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales at number 8, Super Mario 3D All-Stars at number 9, and at number 10, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. In terms of the best-selling Nintendo games in the US for the top 10 for February 2021, the only third-party game on this list right now, as it shows, is at Just Dance 2021. Otherwise, everything is first party. So you have Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury at number 1, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe at number 2, Animal Crossing New Horizon at number 3, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate at number 4, Super Mario 3D All-Stars at number 5, Ring Fit Adventure at number 6, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild at number 7, Just Dance 2021 at number 8, Super Mario Party at number 9, and New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe at number 10. In terms of the best PlayStation games in the US, though, only one first-party game is on this list, and that is Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, and that's still at number 2. Otherwise, in terms of the top 10, it's all third parties. You have Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War at number 1, Persona 5 Striker at number 3, Madden NFL 21 at number 4, Assassin's Creed Valhalla at number 5, Minecraft PS4 Edition at number 6, NBA 2K21 at number 7, FIFA 21 at number 8, Call of Duty Modern Warfare at number 9, and Little Nightmares 2 at number 10. Over on the Xbox platform, though, only 2 games have managed to make it out to the top 10 best-selling Xbox games for February 2021, and that is Forza Horizon 4 at number 6, and Minecraft Xbox One Edition at number 8. Otherwise, the rest are third party, with Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War at number 1, Madden NFL 21 at number 2, Assassin's Creed Valhalla at number 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare at number 4, Little Nightmare 2 at number 5, FIFA 21 at number 7, Mortal Kombat 11 at number 9, and UFC 4 at number 10. In terms of hardware sales, at least according to what VG247 is saying, they are saying, in terms of the hardware side of things, they're saying dollar sales increased 121% year over year to 406 million. This is the highest total for a February month since 468 million was accumulated in February 2011. Year-to-date hardware spendings total 724 million, which is up to 130%. Nintendo Switch was the best-selling hardware platform in both units and dollars for the month. Units and dollar sales of Nintendo Switch hardware in February were the highest from any hardware platform in a February month since the Nintendo Wii in February 2009. Excuse me. Lifetime sales of Nintendo Switch hardware now exceeds those of the Nintendo DS, making the Switch the second best-selling platform in the US tracking history. While Nintendo Wii ranks first, Switch is currently the 7th best-selling hardware platform in lifetime US dollar sales. PS5 was the second best-selling hardware platform in both units and dollar sales. It's currently the fastest-selling hardware platform in the US in total dollar sales after 4 months on the market, which honestly, that's pretty amazing for a system that is extremely hard to find, and believe me, a lot of people are having a hard time trying to find it and all that stuff. So it still amazes me to a certain degree to see that Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury is a game that was originally released, I believe, back in, I think it was like 2013 or 2014, I'll have to check the date again, for a game that was originally released back on the Wii U, manages to do very well. I mean, get the number 1 spot. That's pretty amazing to a certain degree, and it's sort of a counter to the argument of people who claim that the Switch shouldn't have ports and all that stuff. And while I do think there is to a certain degree, there is some agreement to that, though, as you got to have original content. At the same time, ports are kind of necessary and all that stuff, especially to fill in that gap as you wait for basically, that big release and all that. Plus, bear in mind, not a lot of people had a Wii U, so it's compared to what the Nintendo Switch is right now. So it isn't really, to some degree, it isn't really that surprising to see people picking this game up, especially for those who may have missed out during the Wii U era. So yes, to some degree, you can't have ports, but at the same time, you got to basically, ports are definitely necessary and all that stuff. And also seeing Persona 5 Striker do very well, which is certainly nice. And for what I heard, it did well on the Nintendo Switch, although I do kind of wonder if that's the case, that would it have done even more better than it is on the Switch right now had they released Persona 5 on the Nintendo Switch, or Persona 5 like Rumble and all that stuff. Could it have done, Persona 5 Striker could have done even better? I mean, that's a possibility, but I'm not sure. Also, Little Nightmare 2, I'll see if I could take a look at that game and all that stuff, but seeing that one doing well is pretty nice. And to see the PS5, it's pretty amazing how well that's doing, despite the fact that, like I said, it's very hard to even find a PS5. I mean, even trying going online, it's extremely hard indeed. So the takeaway from this NPD chart is that Switch and PS5 are still selling very well, despite the Switch been out on the market since like 2017, and not to mention the whole rumors about the Switch Pro and all that stuff. And Super Mario 3D World doing very well, and all it shows that not only the power of the Mario brand, but it also shows that ports aren't necessarily a bad thing. I agree, it can't be, your system can't just be ports only, but ports aren't necessarily bad. And it kind of flies in to me, I think it kind of flies in the face for those who make the claim of, the Switch shouldn't have ports and all that, yada, yada, yada. Well, when you see Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser Fury doing very well, it's like, that kind of, it makes your argument invalid or anything like that. So, overall, Nintendo's still doing well. Sony, despite having a hard time even trying to find a PS5, is continuing to do very well indeed. It's going to, like I said, it's still going to be very interesting to see how Nintendo is able to keep the Switch momentum going and all that stuff. And if a new Switch is announced, and it's sounding more likely it will be though, whether or not this ends up keeping that momentum going, or could we have a situation where it could divide the audience? So we'll have to wait and see. But as of right now, Switch is still doing very well, PS4 is doing very well, and obviously Super Mario 3D World is definitely doing very well for Nintendo. It's for a game that was originally released on the Wii U that has now made its way over to the Nintendo Switch. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to part 2. And this one has to do with rumors that Microsoft may be considering buying development studios in Japan, particularly possibly Konami and Sega. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of our My 2 Cent video, and for this one, we want to be talking about an interesting rumor that has started to pop up in regards of basically Microsoft, Konami, and Sega, though. Now, the Microsoft purchasing of Bethesda last year kind of shocked a lot of people, though, and it kind of showed in a way that Microsoft is kind of taking a different approach than what they did with the Xbox One and all that, and that is being a bit more aggressive and all that stuff, buying up studios like Obsidian to basically Ninja Theory, and now we have basically Bethesda, which, like I said, really shocked a lot of people, and many people suspect that Microsoft would be buying more studios and all that stuff. But most of the studios they have purchased so far have been Western studios and all that stuff. But this latest rumor supposedly seems to be that they could be eyeing purchasing Konami and Sega. Now, several articles have pointed this out, but where they got their source of information from comes from the site notebookcheck.net. And according to the article written from notebookcheck.net, this is what they had to say. It's saying, quote, There's no denying it when it comes to making acquisitions. Microsoft and its Xbox game studios are not shy about aiming high. The recent purchase of ZeniMax Media, the company that owns id Software and Bethesda Software, for a whopping $7.5 billion proves that Microsoft is actively and aggressively seeking to enhance its company's portfolio and its value Xbox brand. A popular tech commenter has indicated that the next company that are being lined up for a potential takeover of the Japanese gaming stalwarts, Stalwarts, Sega and Konami. Microsoft and Sega has been linked for decades, and the acquisition of the latter by the former has been rumored for many a year. It would make sense for Xbox game studios to obtain Sega specifically knowledge and experience in the console area, and the Tokyo-based firm has certainly struggled over the last year in compared to its Sega Genesis and Mega Drive heyday. Konami has also been thrown into the mix again, and the company will also bring valuable gaming IPs like Silent Hill and Metal Gear with any acquisition. As usual, it is believable. The believability of the rumors settle on just how important or not the Japanese market is for Microsoft and Xbox. Recent sales figures for the country are pretty dire for the Redman company. 1,508 units of Xbox Series X and S and just 10 Xbox One consoles sold for the week ending February 27th. In comparison, for the same week, 3,249 PS4 consoles were snapped up. Japanese gamers brought 33,792 PS5 machines and 78,134 Nintendo Switch devices were purchased. Acquiring Konami and Sega will not only make Xbox a stronger brand in Japan, but it will also appeal to millions of fans of the two companies in other areas that would happen to own an Xbox console. Both the head of Microsoft and Xbox chief strategist Phil Spencer have made it clear that the acquisition of establishing game development is the right direction to take, so maybe there will be some further studio expansion coming in 2021, though. Now, it is worth pointing out in regards of Sega, though, we've heard this rumor gone back and forth many times, and in the end, nothing really happens and all that stuff. So this rumor has gone around before for a long time. That said, Sega has worked with Microsoft before in the past, especially with games like House of the Dead 3, Jet Set Radio Future, I think one of the Panzer Dragoon series. I apologize if I'm not saying the name correctly though. And recently I remember hearing that supposedly Sega was positioning themselves should there be like an acquisition and all that stuff. And given how Microsoft has been heavily trying to persuade the Japanese market more than they did during the Xbox One era, I would say this rumor isn't completely out of the realm of possibility, though. There's no denying, like I said before, no denying that Microsoft has been more aggressive this generation than they have in the past. That said, though, I do remember back in the 90s how Microsoft got himself into trouble in terms of a lot of the antitrust, especially with them monopolizing the situation in regards of, say, Windows and all that stuff. So, I understand Microsoft wants to grow the Xbox brand, but at the same time, they also can risk putting it into a situation and then monopolizing it to the point that there's no competition and all that stuff. And they could find themselves in a lot of hot water if they are not careful and all that stuff. I could say the same thing about Disney itself when they purchased Fox and so forth. I understand they want to grow their business, but they also risk monopolizing it to the point that there's no competition. And like I said, Microsoft got in trouble during the 90s with the whole, Windows and all that stuff. So there is certainly a risk here. I will say for now on, and overall to be exact, I'm treating this as a rumor for the moment, though. Like I said before, we've heard this rumor of Sega being bought by Microsoft and all that stuff. Nothing never really has come. But given some of Microsoft's position, especially, they have enough money for reports of them. They have enough money to buy Bethesda twice. Xbox Game Pass has been doing very well from them and all that stuff. And them trying to be more aggressive into the Japanese market than they were during the Xbox One era. I would say this rumor is definitely not out of the realm of possibility that it could happen. It would be really interesting to see if this does happen and all that stuff. And would we get the same kind of reaction that we saw with Bethesda, or not really a big reaction at all? So time will tell if this rumor turns out to be true or if it turns out to be not true at all. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get to part 3. And this one has to do with, unfortunately, Activision Blizzard doing something that many view as kind of scummy in regards of laying off employees and all that stuff. So, depending on how you want to view it, though. So, we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 3 of our My 2 Cent video. And for this one, we're going to be taking a look at Activision Blizzard, and the latest layoffs that they did has once again pissed a lot of people off, and I can definitely understand why. Now, Activision Blizzard has their share of controversies, much like other studios like Ubisoft and even EA, though. But Activision Blizzard has a place in a lot of gamers' heart for hating them for lots and lots of reasons. Some people feel because they are milking Call of Duty to get to death, and for many other stuff too. But one of the controversies they earned that got the CEO even being hated even more was basically, I believe this was either in 2020, but I believe it was 2019, possibly that, was when, although when they announced their fiscal earnings, and while they certainly made a lot of money, they didn't make all the money in the world, and went as far as basically laying off several employees at Blizzard. Meanwhile, they gave themselves and their CCOs bonuses for that, which was downright scummy and downright pathetic in every single way possible. Well, now it seems to be the CEO, Bobby Kotick, if I'm saying his name correctly, of Activision Blizzard, is at it again, and well, I am not surprised how the internet is basically reacting to this, though. According to 2 articles, though, the first one is from Hot Hardware, hothardware.com, and it reads the title, Activision Blizzard draws flames for laying off employees while CEO gets $200 million payout. The article reads that, quote, though we may be on an upswing, the COVID-19 pandemic will have ripple effects across many industries in the coming months and even years. One such effect is the loss of in-person events and shift en masse to online interaction. It appears that Activision Blizzard, however, sees this as a way forward rather than a stopgap measure. As such, the company has laid off an estimated 190 employees, with 50 of them charged with handling the live esports event. While those employees get severances, CEO Bobby Kotick, if I'm saying his name correctly, apologize I'm not, is set to receive a $200 million payout. A company spokesperson explained the layoff yesterday, stating, players are increasingly choosing to connect with our games digitally, and the esports teams, much like traditional sports, entertainment, and broadcasting industries, has had to adapt its business due to the impact of the pandemic and has on live events, though. The fired employees will be given a healthy 90 days of severance, health insurance for a year, and here's the part that some people find very insulting, though, a $200 gift card to Battle.net, which is a bit of an insult. In any case, the news comes at the same time that CEO Bobby Kotick will be receiving an approximately $200 million payout for a shareholder value creation initiative, as reported by GameSpot. Though this is because the game company's share price has increased roughly 66% since 2019. As a result, Bobby will receive the payment dated back to 2017. While these 2 events are likely unrelated, it is certainly rough times for employees who are now out of a job. Moreover, while live events are on hold for now, people will likely want to get back to in-person sporting event as soon as things begin to open up. In any case, though, we will have to wait and see what happens when COVID-19 sinks away, hopefully soon. Well, let's just say not everyone was happy about what the CEO did and all that stuff. And gamers on Reddit and on the internet has basically has shined in on this. One person says, quote, Bobby Kotick is trash, one Redditor wrote. Activision is trash. I know most of us have a lot of emotional investment in these franchises, but for effing sake, nothing changes because gamers are the perfect consumer base, addiction, and no concerns for anything outside of the product. Another Reddit user writes, corporations are not your friends. They will only ever live to wrangle every dollar out of you, even if it kills you or ruins your life. They don't deserve trust or loyalty. They will be the death of all of us. Same thing with the ultra wealthy. One Redditor wrote, remember when Iwata cut his salary by half because he didn't want to fire anyone because that would lower the team's morale? Yet, saying that's what that person said. F Activision. The above comment was reference to the late Shigeru Iwata, who was the CEO of Nintendo from 2002 until his tragic death in 2015. When Nintendo profits were flagging in 2014, Shigeru Iwata took a massive voluntary pay cut in order to avoid layoff. He was joined by other Nintendo executives who took substantial pay cuts to preserve employees, including the legendary Shigeru Miyamoto. This is the first time that Bobby Kotick has rattled gamers. In 2009, the CEO indicted controversy when he told investors it was his goal to take all the fun out of making video games. Now, I will say that when it comes to Shigeru Iwata, though, I do have respect for him, though. While not every decision he made 100% was perfect at Nintendo, though, and he does have his share of criticism, excuse me, I do applaud the fact that he was willing to go out of his way to take a pay cut because of the way the Wii U was not being, how it has not become the success that they want it to be, though. And to me, I have a lot of respect for him to doing that. What Bobby's doing is just scummy and downright wrong. To basically lay these employees off while you put bonuses in your pocket. This is one of the reasons why a lot of people have a distrust about the wealthy and the rich and all that stuff, and it's because of situations like that is basically one of the reasons why you see a lot of push for unionization. And honestly, I do think the option for unionizing for these game developers should be open. I do think they should take a look at that and see if that's the kind of route that you want to take. I understand COVID-19 has an impact on a lot of industries, and make no mistake, a lot of people have been impacted by that, though. But I can't help but feel to some degree Activision is using that as a cover to lay off a lot of employees so their CEOs can basically get more, put more money in their pockets. I mean, this is just downright despicable. And the $200 gift card for Battle.net, really? Yeah, that to me is just basically a middle finger right there. That is just downright wrong. And honestly, I think the CEO does need to go. I mean, really, it's just deplorable what is happening right there. So overall, I hope these employees are able to find another job and all that stuff. I really wish them the best of luck. And it's really sad what has happened to them, though. And shame on the CEO for what they are doing, especially putting money in their pockets and all that stuff while letting these people go. I understand game development does cost money. I understand it can be very expensive. I don't dispute that. But it becomes really, really hard to buy into that argument when you hear stories like this where companies like Activision and Blizzard, although made a lot of money, didn't make all the money in the world, lay off several employees while their CEOs and CCO put money in their pockets. It's disgusting. It's deplorable in my opinion, and I really think the developers, and I really think a lot of these developers need to start taking a look at the possibility, though we don't know if they'll do this, but the possibility and see if they can try to consider unionization, and that will probably put a lot of those CEOs on notice, though. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to part 4. And this one has to do with the event that Square Enix recently held. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with our 4th and final part of our My 2 Cent video. And for this one, I want to take a look at basically Square Enix. And this one is that recently they hosted a Square Enix like spring event. Basically, it is their version of their take on like say like a Nintendo Direct though. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to watch it though. A lot of stuff was happening, and you know I had to address certain stuff here and there, so I didn't have exactly the time to watch it and all that stuff. But I was able to read up on some of the stuff that was shown into this event. And based on from what I read, outside of maybe some stuff here and there, none of the stuff that they kind of showed was in a way really clicked with me as much though, based on what I have read so far. So we'll go over to basically IGN, and they showed off what they announced at their event though. One of them was that Project Athia, ATHIA, is officially called Forspoken, though, and it reads that Project ATHIA is the working title from the game by Luminous Production for PS5 and PC. It's now officially called Forspoken. They got a look at the game that's set to be released in 2022. It's a new character called Frey Holland, an ordinary woman thrust into a beautiful yet cruel world. Based on what I was able to take a look at the quick video of it, based on what I've seen so far, it looks promising though, but I have to see more of it to sort of see if it's worth getting or not, or anything like that. But for right now, it looks like we'll have to wait until until like 2022 for that game to come out. The other thing that they announced is that Marvel's Avenger will be getting Black Panther later this year, though. I think they also mentioned and Claw are heading to Marvel's Avenger and all that stuff. It still amazes me that Square Enix is still supporting this title, even though it did not perform very well for them, and many speculate that it's only a matter of time before it falls into what happened to Anthem, and many feel that Square Enix will probably pull the plug on it. But for right now, they are still working on bringing on some new content, and they are planning to bring it to the PS5 and the Xbox Series S and X. Whether that will put more interest into the game or not remains to be seen, but right now I'm just not feeling it with Marvel's Avengers at this very moment. We also learned that 2 games in the Life is Strange series has been announced. One is basically called Life is Strange True Colors, will be released on September 10th, 2021, and this brand new game follows the story of Alex Chen, a young woman with the psychic power of empathy, EMPATHY. While there will be chapter breaks, this will not be an episodic game, and the full game story will be released at once. That's kind of nice. They also announced basically that Life is Strange Remaster Collection arrives in fall 2021. Life is Strange and Life is Strange Before the Storm will be included in the Life is Strange Remaster Collection, which is released in September 2021. It will also be available as part of the Life is Strange True Color Ultimate Edition. They also showed off a new trailer for Outrider. Again, not really my thing and all that stuff, but for those, it might interest them. We learned that Tomb Raider Definitive Survivor Trilogy has been announced, though. For what we understand, though, and this is from Destructoid, it reads that, quote, this includes the 2013 Tomb Raider, Rise of Tomb Raider, and Shadows of Tomb Raiders, and that's a whole lot of Lara Croft. It's technically $60 release, but on sale for $20 if you grab it in the next 2 weeks until April 2nd. The definitive refers to containing all the updates and DLC for all 3 games. They said the 2013 reboot is really respectively at $3. Rise is at $6 for the 20-year collection version, and Shadow is at $15 and all. So that doesn't sound so bad. If you missed out on it, it's worth taking a look at if you're planning to get it digital, though. They also announced some mobile games, such as a Just Cause mobile trailer that was revealed. Not really my type of thing, though. Project Hitman Sniper Assassin was announced, though. They announced a AR Space Invader mobile game is in development. They showed off a trailer for Ball in Wonderworld, which is a co-op trailer and all that stuff. Honestly, for that game, I have a feeling that this game's going to be a flop. I could be wrong, and it could surprise us, though, but based on my time with the demo on the Nintendo Switch, I just can't see how this game is going to do very well. It's been getting a lot of hate for a lot of reasons. Many people believe the game should be delayed to maybe iron out more of the gameplay and all that stuff, despite their claim that there will be a day one patch for the game, but I just don't have a lot of hope for this title, though. I could be wrong. It could surprise us, and it might be good, but right now, I don't have a lot of hope for that one. They also announced that basically they announced that Bubble 4 Friends, the Baron is back. It's coming to Steam and all that stuff. The game's already available on the PS4 and Switch. They also announced basically that a game called DARIUSCOZMIC Revelation flies to PS4 and Switch in late 2021. They also have new contents headed for TOUHOU spell Bubbles, though, which, judging by the video that I've seen so far, it looks like another take on Bubbles and all that stuff. Overall, based on what was shown at the event, though, based on what I've read and what they were shown at the event, I would say the only thing that seemed to stick out to me the most is that Forspoken game, though, it's one I might consider taking a look at, though, and the huge deal on the Tomb Raider series based on the Tomb Raider reboot, I think Rise of Tomb Raider and Shadows of Tomb Raider. I think those are the only things that stuck out to me based on what I read about the Square event. Other than that, nothing else really did. I mean, Ball in Wonderworld, like I said, I don't have a lot of hope for that game and all that stuff. Life is Strange, I never play that one. I might try that, to be exact, but everything else just... I'm sorry, it just didn't really click with me as much compared to the last Nintendo Direct, which there were some good things, and let's just say there were more good things out of this than what I've read about Square Enix event. Now, some people may have liked this event, and that's fine. If there was stuff you liked, if you liked Outrider and so forth, then that's fine. I mean, but for me, based on what I read, it's just wasn't feeling it with this one, to be exact. Okay, this concludes this My 2 Cent video for this week. And again, these are my opinion. What are yours? What are your thoughts about the NPD, though? Are you surprised to see that both the Switch and the PS5 are doing very well, or you're not surprised by that at all? Do you think you're kind of surprised to see Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury is like the #1 game in February and all that stuff? Do you think they could keep that momentum going and all? What are your thoughts about these rumors about possibly Microsoft is going to buy Konami and Sega? Do you think this rumor is true? Do you think this rumor is false? Do you think Microsoft needs to be very careful because they could end up being viewed as they're monopolizing everything, and that could get them into a whole lot of antitrust troubles in any way? What are your thoughts about the whole situation with Activision and Blizzard and what they're doing? Do you think this is wrong in terms of what they're doing, in terms of laying off these employees while the CEOs get their bonus? Do you think this is a time that developers need to start considering the idea of unionizations and so forth? And what are your thoughts about the Square Enix Presents Spring event, though, that they had, or their version of the Nintendo Direct? Did you enjoy the event? Did you not enjoy the event? Were there things that you were happy that they announced, or were there things that you weren't pleased that they announced at all? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Do you disagree? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off on the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And if you like this video, I hope you hit the like button. I would appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you do, make sure you hit the bell icon for notifications of any new videos I put up. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You can do it through PayPal me or Patreon. Links will be in the description of this YouTube video if you're watching it on YouTube. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that'll be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good day then. Bye!